Have you ever wondered why some men barely try, yet women chase them, crave them, obsess over them, and why other men, maybe even you, give everything, try their hardest, and somehow end up ignored? If that question hits you somewhere deep, if it reminds you of a girl you once loved, or a girl you're dealing with right now, then listen carefully. Before we begin, brother, subscribe to Stoic Glow, like the video, and stay till the very end, because this might be the lesson that rewrites your entire love life. Let me take you into a story. Years ago, I met a man named Rashid. Calm, confident, mysterious. Women followed him without him doing anything. One night I asked him, "Bro, what's your secret?" He smiled and said, "I don't chase desire. I let desire chase me." What he told me next changed my life forever. He revealed 5 hidden Machiavellian rules, the same psychological principles powerful men have used for centuries. Principles Machiavelli wrote about, and principles that align perfectly with the Stoic teachings of Marcus Aurelius. These rules don't make a woman fear you. They make her respect you, desire you, and value you. 1. Control the frame, or she controls you. Have you ever liked someone so much that you started changing yourself just to impress her? Maybe you texted faster, replied longer, tried harder, and in the process you stopped being you. Be honest, has this ever happened in your love story? If yes, then this part is your chapter, because this is exactly where most men lose the game without even realizing it. See, women don't forget a man who controls his frame, not with arrogance, not with dominance, but with a calm, grounded presence that says, "I know who I am, with or without you." Let me take you into the moment where this truth changed everything for Rashid. He once fell in love, deeply. There was a girl named Zara. She laughed at his jokes, leaned toward him when they talked, gave all the signs that she liked him too. And like most men, Rashid began giving more than she ever asked for. He tried to impress her with long messages. He told her everything about his life in the first week. He rearranged his schedule just to match hers. And slowly, very slowly, Zara pulled back. Have you ever felt that? That strange distance, that slow fading of energy, that feeling that someone who was once close is now slipping through your fingers? Rashid felt it too, and it crushed him until the day he discovered the truth. One evening, while reading Marcus Aurelius, he came across a line, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." It struck him like lightning. He realized he had been giving all his power away, without her asking. At that moment he made a decision. He would stop chasing impressions. He would stop proving himself. He would stop letting her reactions decide his worth. Instead, he would control his frame. The next time Zara asked, "So what are you doing tomorrow?" he didn't bend his schedule for her. He calmly said, "I've got things to take care of. But let's see." No rush, no desperation, no performing. For the first time, he was being himself again. And something interesting happened. Zara leaned in. Her voice softened. She became curious. She started asking more questions. She started investing again. Why? Because Rashid stopped seeking approval. He became a man who was centered, grounded, whole. Women can sense when a man is rooted in himself, and that feeling is magnetic. So ask yourself, in your own love story, have you been controlling the frame, or have you been giving the steering wheel to someone else? A man who controls his frame doesn't need to chase. He lets a woman come toward him, and she remembers him, because his presence feels rare. Remember this, a woman never forgets the man who stays himself. She forgets the man who tried to become someone else for her. 2 people value what isn't easily available. Have you ever wanted something or someone so badly that you chased it? Chased them, chased every little sign of attention. And somehow, the more you chased, the less it felt like theirs to give. If your answer is yes, then this part of the story is yours. This is where most men unknowingly push a woman away, even when they feel the strongest connection. Years ago, Rashid faced the same challenge. There was a woman named Layla, smart, beautiful, mysterious. Every time they met, she lit up the room. Every text she sent was a spark in his day. And like most men in love, Rashid tried to match her energy. He replied instantly. He complimented her excessively. He showed up whenever she asked. He was always available, always accommodating, always eager. But slowly, he noticed it. Layla's attention began to wane. She became distant. She stopped initiating. She didn't laugh as much at his jokes. And deep down, he knew it wasn't because she didn't like him. It was because he had given her everything without making her earn it. Have you felt that sting before? The one where someone's eyes no longer search for you, and it hurts because you realize you gave your power away too early? One evening, feeling frustrated and confused, Rashid reflected on the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. Value yourself first, and others will value you naturally. It hit him. He had been too available. He had been too eager. He had handed his emotional energy like it was free candy. And because humans, women included, value what is hard to obtain, he had inadvertently made himself ordinary. So Rashid made a conscious choice. He would no longer be immediately available. He would honor his own schedule, his own time, his own mission. If Layla wanted him, she would have to meet him halfway. Not through games, not through manipulation, but simply through his self-respect. The next time she called with a last-minute request to meet, he calmly said, "I've got plans, but I'm free later this week. Let's see what works." Instead of feeling ignored, something surprising happened. Layla became intrigued. She began investing her energy into reaching him. She began showing up. She laughed, she shared. She wanted to be part of his world, but now it required her effort. Do you see the difference? Rashid didn't manipulate her. He didn't act cruelly. He simply became a man who wasn't fully obtainable. And that scarcity, the healthy, grounded kind, created desire, respect, and curiosity. Ask yourself in your own love story, have you been too easy to have? Have you been giving all your attention freely without making the other person earn it? Because here's the truth, whispered through centuries of Stoic wisdom and Machiavellian insight, people value what they have to work for. They cherish what isn't handed to them. And a woman will never forget a man who mastered this art, not through arrogance, but through self-respect, boundaries, and selective availability. Never give emotional access for free. Have you ever shared your deepest thoughts, your fears, your dreams, with a woman too early, only to feel a little empty afterward? Maybe you felt closer to her, but somehow it didn't create the connection you expected. Instead, it left you feeling vulnerable, exposed, and honestly a little overlooked. That was exactly what happened to Rashid. There was a woman named Samira, someone who made him feel alive. Every conversation was electric. Every message felt like a thread connecting two hearts. And like any man falling for a woman, Rashid wanted to be fully open. He shared his childhood struggles, his personal insecurities, his ambitions, all of it. He thought that by being so transparent, she would feel closer to him. But Samira didn't respond in kind. She listened, smiled, and moved on with her life. She appreciated his honesty, but she didn't invest the same emotional energy back. And slowly Rashid began to feel drained. Have you ever felt that? Giving your heart freely and realizing it's being treated like it's just another conversation? Rashid realized something crucial. He remembered the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. Guard your heart and mind. Do not give what is sacred lightly. And then it clicked. Emotional access is like gold. It must be earned. If you hand it away too easily, it loses its value. A woman can sense that depth, that richness, that carefully guarded world inside a man. And the moment you open the gates too soon, it's no longer rare. It's no longer magnetic. So Rashid changed his approach. He began to listen more than he spoke. He began to allow Samira to earn glimpses into his world. He asked questions. He observed her reactions. He revealed a layer of his life only after she had shown investment in understanding him. The effect was astonishing. Samira became more attentive. She began sharing herself too. She became curious, wanting to explore the depths he carefully allowed her to see. Each conversation now had weight. Each moment of emotional connection felt earned and therefore more meaningful. Think about your own story. Have you ever felt like you were giving too much too soon? Have you ever watched someone drift away after feeling like they already had it all? Here's the key takeaway. Emotional energy is a currency. Spend it wisely. Invest it only where there is mutual respect and reciprocity. A woman will never forget a man who guards his heart without arrogance, who gives access with intention, and who lets her earn the privilege of truly knowing him. Because emotional scarcity isn't coldness, it's power, it's value. It's the invisible force that draws a woman closer, making every shared feeling, every vulnerability, every glance, and every touch infinitely more magnetic. For be willing to walk away, the ultimate power. Have you ever been in a situation with a woman where you felt like you were holding on too tightly, afraid to let go, even though something inside you whispered that you should? Maybe you stayed because of hope, because of love, or because you didn't want to face the emptiness that might come with walking away. Rashid had been there. He was deeply in love with a woman named Nadia. She was captivating, intelligent, beautiful, and full of energy that drew him in like a magnet. For months he invested all his time, attention, and emotions into her. He texted, he called, he showed up, he prioritized her above his own schedule. And yet, she didn't fully meet him in return. There were moments of attention and affection, yes, but there were also times of distance, of disregard, and of casual dismissal. Have you felt that sting? The feeling that someone you care about might not fully value you, that despite your efforts, they remain unpredictable, distant, or emotionally unavailable? One evening, sitting alone with a cup of tea, Rashid reflected on Marcus Aurelius's words. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. It hit him like a lightning bolt. He had been giving his power away, allowing his happiness, his self-worth, and his emotional energy to be dictated by her actions. And the ultimate power, he realized, wasn't in chasing. It wasn't in persuasion. It wasn't in pleading. It was in the ability to walk away, to detach with dignity, to say, I will not compromise my value. If this does not serve my growth or respect, I step back. The next day, when Nadia was indecisive about making plans yet again, Rashid paused. Instead of bending over backward or chasing, he calmly said, I'll give you space. Let's reconnect when we're both ready. It wasn't cold. It wasn't spiteful. It was a demonstration of self-respect. The effect was immediate. She noticed. She reached out. She began to engage with intention rather than casual energy. Why? Because a man who is willing to walk away signals one thing clearly. He values himself. And a woman cannot resist a man who holds his own value above fleeting approval. Think about your own life for a moment. Are you holding on too tightly? Are you letting your happiness depend entirely on her attention or validation? Marcus Aurelius reminds us that true strength lies in detachment without bitterness, in loving without clinging, in valuing oneself above the fear of loss. Being willing to walk away isn't about cruelty or game playing. It's about creating space for respect, curiosity, and mutual effort. It transforms the dynamic completely. The woman who once seemed indifferent suddenly sees the man differently, strong, calm, and unapologetically centered. Remember, the ultimate power in any relationship is not in chasing, persuading, or proving. It's in being willing to walk away and letting your presence be earned. This isn't just a tactic. It's a way of life, a Stoic principle that separates men who are unforgettable from men who are forgettable. 5. Keep a purpose she can feel but never control. Have you ever been with a woman who seemed drawn to your energy, your presence, your confidence, but somehow you felt like she needed to steer your life? Maybe she wanted to influence your choices, your time, or even your priorities. Rashid knew this feeling all too well. He was in love with a woman named Amara, a brilliant and vibrant woman who lit up every room she entered. Rashid adored her, and naturally he wanted to include her in every part of his life. He shared his goals, his schedule, and even asked for her opinion on his decisions. At first it felt like partnership, but slowly he realized something crucial. Amara started trying to influence things that were sacred to him, his routines, his ambitions, even his friendships. The more he allowed it, the more he felt his own power and direction slip away. Have you ever felt that tug of war in a relationship, where your own purpose begins to blur under someone else's influence, where your focus, your vision, your energy no longer feels entirely yours? One quiet night, Rashid reflected on the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Guard your purpose and it will remain strong. It struck him. A man who is remembered, who commands respect, who inspires attraction, must have a purpose she can feel but never control. It isn't about secrecy, manipulation, or withholding. It's about living a life with clarity, direction, and passion, so that the woman beside him senses it, admires it, and is drawn to it, without ever being able to dictate it. So Rashid shifted his approach. He began prioritizing his goals, his routines, and his personal growth. He remained present with Amara, engaging fully when they were together, but he no longer allowed her to steer his path. He shared his vision in ways that inspired, not ways that invited control. The effect was profound. Amara didn't feel neglected or pushed away. Instead, she became more intrigued. She admired his discipline, his focus, and his unshakable sense of self. She began supporting him in ways that respected his autonomy. She was drawn to him because he was anchored in his purpose, unwavering yet inclusive. Think about your own life. Are you allowing someone's opinions, desires, or expectations to overshadow your mission? Or are you cultivating a presence where your purpose is undeniable, felt in every action, in every word, in every glance, yet untouchable, untamed, and entirely yours? Remember this: a man's purpose is magnetic. A man who allows his life to be controlled is forgettable. But a man who holds his purpose with quiet strength becomes unforgettable. Rashid learned that day, attraction isn't about control, it's about presence, clarity, and living a life so compelling that she can't help but notice, admire, and respect. Final message: you don't need to manipulate women. You don't need to chase. You don't need to pretend. You need to become a man with a strong frame, selective availability, emotional discipline, the courage to walk away, a purpose no one can touch. That combination makes a woman not just attracted, but invested, not just curious, but chasing, not just interested, but begging for a place in your life. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.